So making a game in Middle-earth is kind of a dream come true for us. We're all big fans, and having the starting point of a universe that's so well thought out, so well developed to begin with is really, it's just a great jumping off point. All our ideas and everything we want to do mechanically as well as thematically and narratively have something really strong to draw from the get-go. We started working on the core main story missions with Christian Canamessa, who is the lead designer, writer on Red Dead Redemption, and he brought a lot to the table up front for us in terms of structure and how to think about a non-linear storytelling experience within those main missions. Obviously in an open world game there's a lot of non-linearity, there's a lot of choice to go and pursue side missions and collectibles and exploration, all the other activities, but even within just the main missions, Red Dead had a great structure of very character-driven and very non-linear, and that's kind of how our main missions are structured as well. You got very character-driven missions, you got Gollum, and you go through a series of missions. The way the combat works in the game is very fluid between all the different styles of like being stealthy, using your bow and the ranged attacks, and then getting into that melee. And that core melee fighting, it's very fluid. Our animators really focused a lot on the kind of seamless fluidity of all the moves chaining together smoothly. But then they put a lot of attention into the executions, especially like really get that brutal, just nasty kind of finishing moves. There's a lot of heads flying. There's a lot of just tough, you know, sticking that sword in part way and then driving it through the rest of the way and really trying to make it as visceral as possible.
The pain of my twin shall echo within you.
The other big component people often forget about, I think, is audio. Like when you really hear the bone crunch and the meat of it, it just, it's so satisfying to feel when you have the full experience, the audio and the close-up camera and the animations all just so perfectly synced. Probably the most fun we had on the game audio-wise was when we were first building our kind of prototypes for chanting the orc names. So we have so many different names in the game, but we wanted to actually have it feel like this boss, this big bad orc is coming out, and everybody in the stronghold is kind of his follower and knows his name. And so as they approach, you hear the whole place chanting like "Or Thug, Or Thug." So to prototype that, we got the whole studio out in the parking lot and told all our neighboring businesses, like, don't freak out. There's just going to be 150 dudes screaming "Or Thug" in the parking lot for the next half an hour.
You are nothing to me and my Uruks, you miserable cur!
A lot of times the enemies will feel kind of lifeless because they don't have a sense of personality. So if we can zoom in, if we can get up close to them and let them actually speak directly to you, that's important. So what that means is we have to write a mountain of voiceover and have to do an insane amount of visual variation and really put all our focus and emphasis on making it feel like these guys are indeed unique characters that have the potential to build a relationship with you, to hold a grudge against you, to come hunting for you, to be scared of you, to have all those kind of possible ways to react that the spectrum of humanity might have if you were stalking and terrorizing them.
Shall I say goodbye when you fall and die after I pluck out your eye?
There's a few important ways that you progress your character in the game, and the growth of power from the beginning of the game to the end game is enormous, and that's an important part of the experience, both for a player. Obviously getting so much more powerful is important. Thematically, in Tolkien, power is kind of a sinister word, so it's fun to explore that territory, but in terms of the mechanics of how that works, you have the skill tree with your ranger and wraith skills, and those are all the kind of big, meaty new moves that kind of open up your toolbox even more, and the ranger stuff is going to be more of the physical world, the combat abilities and the stealth, and the wraith tree is a bit more of like focusing on your range. You go into the wraith world when you use your bow, and domination and fear and the elements that the wraith kind of brings uniquely to it. So there's a bit of customization throughout that. Then there's also the upgrades around the weapons, and that's a pretty important one because the Nemesis system is constantly creating these procedural enemies, so you're never going to have the same bosses in any two games. And so when you kill these bosses, we want to to make the weapon upgrades and a sort of a part of that system as well. So when you kill a boss, the loot he drops is basically an upgrade to your weapon. It's you basically taking the story of that kill, the fate of that enemy, and inscribing it on your blade and building the legend of your weapon as you kill off these powerful enemies.